Yep, that's right, I'm back. I know you guys are probably sick and tired of me showing you the same thing over and over and over, but I'm learning something new every day. An eagle-eyed viewer, when I panned the bottom end, said, "Hey Alex, one of your rods has heat marks. I'd want to take a look at it." At the 12-minute mark, I see heat marks. And I went, interesting. Maybe something I overlooked, because when I'm videoing, I'm concentrating on the video. And a lot of the times I don't video things because I just want to concentrate on the engine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pan off and I'm going to really closely inspect the rods and see if there's any heat signatures on the rods. If there's heat signatures, that means there's a bearing issue. If there's a bearing issue, that means that the bottom end has to get completely looked at. Maybe have the crank touched up, have the new bearings installed, and just maybe potentially re-ring the thing. Who knows? But let's just take a look at it, because I'm telling you, if this thing has to get new bearings, re-ringed, and a polished crankshaft, I am asking for a full, complete refund of this engine build. So let's go take a look at it. So I was trying to convince myself that the bottom end is fine, but because you guys, and this is why I video it, because some of you guys spot stuff that I can't spot. You guys looked at the heat marks. So look at what's happening right here. This is number one, hot. Not hot, because a little bit, but nothing crazy. And now, chicken or the egg? Was this before or after? Well, if I pull that cap, I'm committed. And this guy right here, when you go all the way around, hot. So bearing, heat, potential issue with bearing clearances. Let's go this side. Not terrible. Not bad. This one's starting to show a little bit of heat there. This one not. This one, you know what? I'm not 100%. I would say yes. So now, who knows? The rods were reused, and the crank was reused. So chicken or the egg? So should I pull the bearing cap or have a professional do that? Because if it's just a matter of pulling the bearing cap and inspecting for scratches or heat marks on the bearing, great, but I'm literally going to own everything. Or, since I'm already here, what's another $3,000 or $4,000? So we'll see. Well, nothing glaring, no heat marks on the rod itself, so it looks like it might have been from previous. No scoring marks, nothing obvious. So I mean, I can assume that based on the worst looking one, that this was probably from the previous build. Remember, this motor did see a bunch of high RPMs and a lot of heat, so it looks like it got polished up and done well, I guess. But it wasn't that big of a deal to pull a cap and make sure everything was kosher. So I'm going to reinstall it and torque it down, and hopefully that's not going to be an issue in the future. But maybe you guys watch this video and go, no, definitely messed up. So I don't know. I'm still kind of leaning towards taking it to a shop and having them just do this. Look it all over, measure everything, and if it looks good, put it back together, and then give it the seal of approval, basically. Hey guys, it's Alex. Today is December 31st, 2023, the last day of 2023. So what I'm going to try to do is finally go 5s, 60 to 130 in the ZR1. Got a bunch of junk back there. What is all this stuff? What the hell? Oh, the bag. So I've gone 6.0 a bunch of times on this Corvette, and I haven't really done anything else because the last time I was testing the car, it was 79, 80 degrees outside. Today it is 58 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of the cooler weather and see if I can bust off a 5. And if I can bust off a 5 at 60 degrees or so, or 58, 59 degrees or so, I'm a happy guy, because we don't get really cool weather down here a lot. So I thought, let me go out there, do a couple of draggy hits in Mexico and see how everything goes, and then I can end the year hopefully not with a bang, because who knows. Still running Sunoco 260 GT, still running about 21 or 22 degrees of timing. Same tune. I haven't touched the tune in this car in months because I just drive it and mess around. IATs seem to hover around 150 after a pull, but with cooler weather, we might be able to be under that. So that's the goal. Just finish the year off with a 5-second 60 to 130 run in the ZR1. That makes this car pretty serious in my opinion. And you know, hopefully by next year I can work on getting that number down to the 4s with E85, maybe stickier rubber, a better transmission, and maybe more boost. Who knows what the next year will bring, as I have a bunch of goals set for the channel. We want to go 7s with the Fairmont. We want to go 8s with Section 8, aka student loans or student debt, and 9s stick with the Fox body. So let me get out there to Mexico, see if I can get a good hit in, get you a 5-second draggy, and we can call it a year. So I was about to do a draggy recording, and luckily I have a wideband in the car, and I noticed air fuel is starting to spike. And I, you know, based on my experience and what I know of this vehicle, I know that fuel pressure was starting to drop a decent amount during the watt pulls. Obviously it's cooler out, a lot denser air, so there's more air available. So I thought to myself, let me not just do a hit without data logging first. So I'm gonna go back home, get the laptop, get the MPVI, plug it in, and just do like a 3rd gear hit and monitor fuel pressure and see where it starts to go bad. If fuel pressure starts to drop off pretty fast, then I'm out of fuel system for this dense weather. Just, it's cool out. Remember guys, these cars don't really trim fuel at wide open throttle. They're doing what you're commanding all the time. So if I'm not commanding enough fuel, then things can go bad. If fuel pressure is already starting to drop, then I need a fuel system, or the stock fuel pump is starting to peter out at about 20 psi. And I started noticing it leaning out at about 6,000 RPMs. I started seeing air fuel go from 11.5 slammed, start to creep up to 12 volt, 12 volt, 12 2, and boom, I let off because I said that I want to make sure that in the data log, nothing's fucky. Now, what else could be happening? It could be hitting another area of the MAF cell or the MAF data curve. So I want to make sure that I can try throwing fuel or commanding more fuel pressure or doing something to combat that spike. But if fueling doesn't come around, and if fuel pressure literally starts to drop during those pulls, I'm out of fuel system. And I talked to Alec Bledsoe about this before, that in order for me to go E85, I'm gonna need either an auxiliary fuel pump, a bigger injector, or a complete fuel system, which requires you dropping the torque tube and removing the tank and a whole bunch of other stuff. So let me data log, make sure this thing is not literally running out of fuel. If it's not, throw some fuel at it, see if it get that 5-second draggy. If it started, fuel pressure starting to drop, I gotta wait, get a fuel system, and just shift that 5,800 RPMs like like an old Fox body homo. Okay, recording away. Let me do it's a 3rd gear roll on, and if that, you know, look at the data log, check fuel pressure, because definitely have to check fuel pressure once she's cooking, and see how all it's doing before I decide to do any hits on a cold day like today. From what I can tell, this is the 2-3 pull here. From what I can tell, fuel pressure is not dropping all that much. So it goes from, it starts at 80 at, let's see, come on baby, at 4,000 RPMs. It starts around 85 and it starts to trend in the 70s and actually goes up a hair, and duty cycle seems to be okay. So I might just be able to get away by adding fuel, because you can see what air fuel starts to trend up. See, air fuel starts to trend, yeah, that's right when I let off. So I'm gonna have to add fuel. We'll see what it's flowing from MAF. We'll see if it requires a little more fuel pressure, but I'll tweak the tuning for the fueling, and we'll see if we can keep this in the happy zone in the low 11s somewhere. pressure's on the bottom left here. Look at this 77. We're gonna stare at AFR, which is this gauge right here. And of course it's going off of one bank, but not everything can be Coyote stuff. We're very spoiled, but look at that. We're in the 11.7-ish, and then it trends 11.9, so I could probably get away with a little more, but it's already at 6,100 RPMs in third gear, and fuel pressure is pretty darn steady. Bottom left, fuel pressure, boom, 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 boom. Fuel pressure's okay. Maybe you guys are like, that's not enough, and you're running it too rich. And I'm like, I don't know, 11.7, 11.8 is probably too lean for me. 12.05, was it still under throttle? No, I was coming off of throttle there. So I was coming off of throttle, and it was 11.5, 11.6, 11.4, 11.7, 11.8, 11.9, 12.0, and then I let off. So I probably should touch up a little bit on the top side just to keep it in the mid 11s. I'll do that with one more tune. Then I'll go out there and find somewhere to make a hit and try to get that 5 tonight. To 130. I suspect this car is going to need some tuning tweaks based on stuff I heard more than anything. It probably needs some fueling tweaks up top, but I'm not looking to drag this car out. I'm not looking to do anything of the sort. So I'm just going to look at the log real quick, make sure everything looks halfway decent, and then just give it a wash and drive it until I'm ready to go E85 with the car. I'm kind of like band-aiding everything with Sunoco 260 GT and a couple other things. So for now, I'm extremely happy. When I bought this car, it was a 8-second 60 to 130 car. Now, in about a year and a half or two of ownership, gotten it down all the way to 578. So Flores, absolutely, by the end of the year, we're gonna have to get some E85 in her. Maybe a cam. Ben Caliber's already on the horn for a transmission, so I can get you 9-second quarter-mile stuff with this car. So be on the lookout for content on the ZR1 in 2024. Thanks for listening, guys, and Happy New Year. See you guys later.